a hard case, mate, too.
The boys are back.
Oh, eh?
No,
the colours are out.
The boys are back. Don't ever write a Hurricane team off.
Well, do you think you're going to be good enough to be able to beat the Highlanders with the first guy we're going to feature tonight at halfback? Because I tell you what, this kid is good, isn't he?
Well, he's probably the best passer of the ball in New Zealand wearing number 9.
Yep.
And that gives the Highlanders such a huge advantage, you know, because he gets them going. And he's a good little kid. He's got good vision. He runs well. He's always backing up, you know, looking for a little sneaky pass. Got one from Lima Sopawanga. And, I mean, what he's done, Murray, is that he's just carried on from last year with the Manawatu Turbos. And that's why Manawatu go well. That's why the Highlanders are going well, because he just gets the passing away so well.
Stewie, I interviewed him on radio, and he is a delight. I said to him, mate, in Otago Rugby, we never take tap kicks when they're right in front of the goalpost.
Yeah,
he said, Jamie has given me the authority. He's another one. You know, if you talk to these Highlander guys, boy, it's Jamie this, Jamie that, 3 bags full, sir. There's only one boss down there, isn't there?
Well, it is, but he's, you know, he's been in those colours, you know. He's been an All Black. He's been a Highlander.
It's great passing, isn't it? It's one move.
Well,
bang.
see that pass there? They rose straight over the vantage line, straight away.
Yeah.
You know, so he picks out his runners good, and I must admit his defence has improved, and that's one area where I think the coaches have said you just got to toughen up a bit. See, there's another flat pass.
Beautiful
straight
pass.
over.
Right.
And they're turning the Crusaders inside out. Brilliant.
Well, we've got a number of halfbacks because your boy, the Hurricanes man, certainly had a stunning game, didn't he?
Well, you see, you know, a lot of these kids are coming through the under-20s. You know, he was the New Zealand under-21 last year when they won the World Cup for the under-20s in Italy. He's captain of the New Zealand secondary school, so, you know, he's got a bit of flavour about him. And he's just a good kid. You know, and on debut, you know, you put 3 over the chalk line, you've got to think, well, that's not a bad start. You think, well, you know. So, you know, when you look at the number 9s we've got around the country, you know, it can be, you know, it's very rewarding at the moment. Good player.
Well, the other thing on top of that, of course, is you're talking about the number 9s. Kevin Putt, who I listen to a lot, he really rates the Chiefs guy, Kurbalo.
Yeah, Terry Kurbalo.
He's a different type of player, isn't he?
Well, he's a lot bigger than the other 2 that we've just spoken about. So, and he's very good when he runs with the ball because he looks for his big forwards. And, of course, you know, he's creating space. Good cure of the nut. He said that he didn't kick that well against the Crusaders, but I thought he played pretty well. And because he sits quite high, you know, he's quite heavy for a halfback, sits around 90 Ks, about 1.82 metres. So he's a big boy, so he can take a lot of the heavy traffic when he goes running. But when he snipes, he's always looking for space and to put his runners, particularly his big ball carriers, can't find a ball carrier, he picks out one of the outside backs, particularly the Kahuis and the Sonny Bill Williams, and he gives them space with the pass. Now, that's a skill.
See, I wanted you to be discussing this because I heard you comment one time, this is a factory. We can produce players. Yeah. And I thought, Stewie's dead right. And we're producing them in positions that we haven't had as many halfbacks as we've got at the moment, or first 5/8. Like, take this kid Barrett.
Well, you know, his father, Smiley Barrett, you know, what did he play? About 167 games for Taranaki, so the kid's got rugby blood in him. But what I like about Baden Barrett, he's a big boy. He sits around 6 foot. You know, he's in the 90-plus kilos, and he can kick off both legs. He's got extremely good vision. You know, like he for a kid, his kicking game, you know, is the shoulders of a man that's been around the track for about 10 years. Now, to me, this kid is going to go super far. He's a very good kid. And you know what? I think the Blues went hunting him, and they gave him a huge, big offer. And he said, oh, no, I'm from Taranaki. We ran the run, ranked 3rd last year in the ITM Cup, won the Ranfurly Shield. No, I'm quite happy here, and I'll just play for the Canes. Thanks very much for the offer. And I tell you, I bet the offer was a big one too, because they were desperate for a number 10. Fascination
to me is that all the controversy in your franchise about Hammett, half these blokes mightn't have got the chance if he hadn't made the calls that he made.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen Mark on a number of interviews just recently, and you know, he's been bashed around by the media, and everyone's probably had a fair flick in him. But what he said was, if I'm not getting bashed around by making some harsh calls, that proves that the people aren't passionate about the game. When people are passionate about the game, he said, they're going to get stuck into me. So I don't mind that at all. And I thought, wow, he turned it around, because he is a good coach. He's got a young side, you know, very young side, with a couple of old heads like Conrad Smith. Great call when they made him captain. That's a super call. And, you know, they went away overseas to South Africa and they've come back 2 from 3.
Yep.
Now, who would have said that 2 months ago?
Only you. Where did you get the jersey? Is it you sort of take it out of mothballs?
There's a little PW down there, Pity Wupu. Now, this is one of his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I said something kind about him on the radio one day, and this little parcel arrived, and I opened it up. There's a little note said, Stu, thanks for all the help. Wear that next time you play golf. And I do. Whenever I play against some of those Auckland boys, I wear this just to really get up their nose, Murray. And I normally win the money.
Cruden.
Super player.
He is a super player, and obviously gets on very well with Rini.
Well, you know, and he followed him, didn't he? You know, to the Chiefs, and that was a good move by him. And you know, when he plays, when Cruden plays with Aaron Smith in the Turbos, he gets so much more time because of the pass. But you know, he's a World Cup starting number 10. He's got class all over him. You know, he could possibly, you know, eat a few more donuts and a few big bean pies just to beef up a bit. But he's got courage. He's got good vision. It's a brilliant kicking game. And he's a very wise head on a young body. Super player, mate, super player.
Pat Lam has been wondering who his first 5'8". No longer, mate.
We all were.
Like, yeah, but not.
We all were.
Yeah, and now he's got him, hasn't he?
Well, I think, you know, you had to play Anscombe. You had to put the 2 gorillas beside him. You had to put the 2 World Cup starting, number 9 to number 12. So when you've got a couple of gorillas, experienced old hands, put the number. Look, this kid's only 20. You know, he's just a boy. But again, you know, when you put experience around him, he'll show his tricks. Good goal kicker. I think, you know, his defence isn't too bad. He can obviously score tries. He's got speed. And all these guys have got to do, they've just got to play in what I call chaos situations. That's when you find out if they're going to be any good. If they're making poor decisions in chaos, to the uneducated, that's when you're in the crap. But I call it chaos. When you start making clear, good decisions in chaos, you'll go up the ladder. But some of these guys will get found out. I know they will. Right. When they're playing against teams in Super 15, they've got a lot of international.
It's that whole ceilings thing, Stewie, is it?
Absolutely.
Because at the moment, you can sit and look and think, who is going to come through? There are so many young number 9s and 10s.
Well, Lima Sapoanga from the Highlanders, right? And they got the young Canterbury boy, Blandale, who's playing first 5 for the Crusaders. They're all 20, 21. Suddenly, we've got 5 first 5s. Now, a couple of years ago, if Dan Carter was dropped, you know, like, we had nothing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's a factory. And I have no problems with it. We will lose guys. You know, they'll go for the big money. They go for the yen, the franc, and the dollar.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Because coming through, and it's not only at 9 and 10, it's in the lock department.
Final comment from you on a rather small bloke that is coming through at the front row for the Chiefs.
Well, Talamana, I tell you that. I'm sorry, it's not. His name is Ben Tuafuma.
Yep.
Well, you know, I reckon a kid, he's 136, someone said in the paper today he's 138. Tommy Funa, he's 138 Ks. He's got no fear. He made a couple of big bangs in that game against the Crusaders. He held up his side of the scrum. He was on the tight head, and he had the Franks boys. And
look
then
at the tackle he makes then.
It's huge.
Yeah.
He's a good ball carrier, very mobile, and he's got good ball skills. And I was absolutely surprised when one All Black came on, Crockett came on. And he held his scrum up pretty well.
Yes, he did.
His uncle was on the other side, and he had Schwager in the middle. So he had a couple of good boys behind him, but he's also got a fairly good handy lock that's pushing right up his bum. Now, there's a kid out of Hawke's Bay, probably had about 40 minutes of Hawke's Bay Rugby ITM Cup last year, throwing him straight into the bin. And you know what? Looked okay. Probably could lose a bit of weight if he wants to go the distance for 80 minutes. That's his problem. But I thought if that kid can come out of club rugby at Hawke's Bay and do that, why are we worried?
Wanted you on the show, Stu, because of your enthusiasm, and you're getting us all excited, and it'll be a terrific weekend of Super Rugby.